It feels like we've been waiting for The Last of Us Season 2 forever, but while it's only been 2 years for us, it's been 5 years for Joel and Ellie since the bloody end of Season 1. Unsurprisingly, the pair are on icy terms, and as much as Joel would like to pretend that it's because Ellie's growing up and rebelling, they both know that she lost her trust in him a long time ago. The Last of Us Season 2 Episode 1 tells us that Joel's worst fears have come true. But before we get into it, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button, drop a like and comment on the video, and if you're able, please sign up for channel memberships for exclusive content, which really helps us out. Anyway, let's get back to Jackson. So, he couldn't help loving Ellie and putting her in the hole in his heart left by his daughter, but even though she's still alive, he's lost her. Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey easily slip back into their roles, though the actors share very few scenes together, giving us a chance to get to know who they've become since we last saw them. This season's newcomers, Isabella Merced, Catherine O'Hara, Caitlin Dever, and young Mazzino help flesh out this new version of The Last of Us that gives us a taste of safety that balances on a razor's edge. Where Season 1 immediately teed itself up to be a journey, Season 2 is preparing for the long, slow fight to defend this hard-earned home. Jackson, the commune Tommy and Maria have built, has blossomed into a fully fledged town, thriving and warm, and the question of community arises many times throughout Episode 1, Future Days. How The Last of Us grapples with themes of rebuilding after being so focused on pure survival will determine if the show and characters are ready to evolve. The slower start to Season 2 is a cool down following the non-stop action of the Season 1 finale, doing the work to establish the status quo and introduce the new stakes of Joel and Ellie's world. Everyone has secrets in Jackson, but Joel and Ellie are hiding the most, and the fragile utopia they're building cannot last if its foundation is based on lies. Ellie's mounting recklessness and Joel's refusal to loosen his grip on her haven't ruined things yet, but it won't be long before they do. The Last of Us is no less skilled at making us sympathize with monsters and empathize with the impossible choices the characters make. It's impossible to forget what Joel's done and the violence he's caused, but between the writing and Pascal's performance, I desperately want to forgive him and see Ellie do the same. We feel the pain of their estrangement deeply, but if the truth comes out, few living in Jackson could find it in their hearts to forgive Joel. It's eating him alive, but coming clean feels impossible. It gets a little tedious to sit through the heavy exposition of Future Days, however, for the season premiere and the time jump, it's reasonably well executed and necessary to relearn the rules of the story. The Last of Us punctuates its conversation with some solid action, showing how far Ellie has come as a fighter and hinting at future challenges that will force the characters to put aside their differences. It's a more contained story than we're used to seeing in The Last of Us as we remain in Jackson for the duration, but it works in the narrative's favor. I have a feeling the time will soon come when we and the characters long for the everyday doldrums of life in Jackson. Even for viewers unfamiliar with the games, it's not difficult to predict how much of a problem Abby will be for Joel. In the little screen time Abby gets, it appears that Joel might have met his match in a single-minded pursuit of her goals. The issue of Joel's age catching up with him was woven into Season 1, and 5 years later, he won't be capable of putting himself through anything to protect Ellie. With only 7 episodes in Season 2, The Last of Us must move quickly to make up the time spent reeling us back in throughout Episode 1. However, it would have been a mistake to move too fast and make us guess at the emotional dynamics that will propel the rest of the story. The ghost of the explosive success and popularity of Season 1 is everywhere in Future Days, and this is a lot to live up to. However, Episode 1 hints that we should expect things to be different in Season 2, and this is good. As much as Season 1 grabbed hold of us and became a cultural moment, trying to repeat this formula would be boring and ineffective. How The Last of Us alters the game's story and continues distinguishing itself from the source material might be controversial, but it's vital for the series' long-term success. With The Last of Us renewed for Season 3 before Season 2 premiered, it becomes even easier to see the seeds of change and growth in the narrative's longevity being planted even in the debut episode of the season. So overall, the pros, The Last of Us Season 2 distinguishes itself from Season 1, and Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey are just as effective as Joel and Ellie. And the one con, the episode has to take its time to provide the necessary exposition which could make viewers tune out. But overall, 2 thumbs up.